in spiritual circles, where there's this thing that exists called spiritual narcissism, where people think they've got the answers to everything and they become very narcissistic about it, how they know much more than anybody else. I just wonder what you've thought about that, Jasper.
Yeah, this is a biggie, I think we could say. Everybody has such a desire to find something spiritual in their lives, being that we live in such an intensely materialistic world. And I think as it's been okay when we're looking for something spiritual, but together with our me, selfie type of world, and the way we're taught to be very competitive, whatever we do, we've got to market ourselves, we've got to be the best, we've got to go out there and show what we're made of. I think we end up getting, whatever we're doing, we end up getting that idea being attached to narcissism, which is obsession with the self. So hence, when we're trying to find spirituality, it's not excluded. We don't suddenly stop being narcissistic because we're spiritual now. It's not happening that way. It should be. It should be that in spiritual communities that we learn how to give to each other and how to put all this stuff down that we have to deal with every day, and all the selfie type stuff, but it doesn't work that way. So that's what we've got to deal with today. That's what we're facing. We're facing spiritual narcissism in the sense that we cannot escape it. So our spirituality and our narcissistic sense of self end up naturally coming together. And that's dangerous because we end up feeling that it is natural, and it isn't. People who might be able to look back at anything they've done that's spiritual, whether it's to do with religion, whether it's to do with anything that's within New Age arenas or cultural, whatever it is, we might be able to see that communities were able to come together with a sense of giving to each other a little while ago. And while people may argue with me and say, oh yes, we still do that, it's not working, it's not happening in exactly the same way, because what is happening is we're carrying that sense of self, that narcissism, with us. So if we feel that we're not giving, we end up becoming very flowery and going overboard with what we feel is giving or what we feel is love, and it's not quite hitting the mark. We're either closing up and being very self-centred, or we're going way over the horizon and running with the idea again, as I sometimes keep saying. And we're not able to see properly. We're not able to see straight. We can't see the wood for the trees, as they say. It's a bit of a dire situation. And I think we've got to rethink, because the sad part is that it all becomes the norm. Our self-centred sense of spirituality becomes the norm. We think that the self should be at the forefront of everything. And that's not what spirituality is actually about. Even if we search inside, it's the idea of connecting with something that is greater than ourselves, something that goes beyond our everyday selves and our everyday sense of living in this world. So yeah, I don't think it's a very good idea to follow spirituality if you're heavily into your own self, because it's not going to help you. You've got to rethink the self first before you ever look at spirituality. The New Age has just gone mad. The New Age is, people know what I think about the New Age, but it's absolutely gone mad, and we absolutely need to look at the way we're relating to spirituality. And we take it right back to the earth, and that should be our spirituality, living with what we've got outside in the natural world and making that a part of ourselves. The earth will never, ever, in a million years, be narcissistic. The earth spirit can't do that. the sky, the sun, the moon. They can't do that. They just go on as they mean to go on. And we seem to take it somewhere else and think that spirituality is about the sense of self, and it's about putting ourselves right in the centre of the picture. And we've got to get ourselves out of the picture. We'll feel better for it. Everyone feels better for it if you can separate yourself from yourself, shall we say. So have a think about this. That's a good question, and it's a question that needs talking about lately. So yeah, great question.